Hey, so one of the most important things that you can do when going through divorce is not to become bitter. I was just having a conversation with one of my best friends, and we were just talking about when we were going through our divorce, how it was so, hey girl, hello, how are you? She was early, too early for the webinar, but absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me right now. So what's your first name too? Will you do me a favor and put it in either our chat or DMs? I was just talking to my assistant about you as well. So please um, put your first name in our chat or either on here, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. Um, okay, Ross, awesome. So what I was saying was that one of the most important things that you can do when you're going through a divorce, going through the process of all of that, is not to allow your heart to become hardened, right? Not to become bitter. So when I was going through my divorce, as many of you know, married for 20 years, plus, and went through that whole divorce, separation, all of that stuff, and name calling, throwing, me under the bus and everything that you can imagine that comes with divorce, it came with my divorce, right? But I was in a place where I said, listen, I don't want this to define me. I don't want to leave this relationship bitter because I know that I have a future ahead of me that I want to achieve. I have a lifestyle that I want to live. I want to be a certain way. I want to come across a certain way. I want to fall in love, again. I want to live after this. I want to create a life that I'm proud of. And I know if I'm sitting in the heartache, if I'm sitting in the bitterness, if my heart is hardened, that's just going to make it harder for me to achieve the life that I want going forward, right? So it wasn't even so much, ladies, about doing it for him. It was more about doing it for me. So I was just having this conversation with my best girlfriend, Michelle. We've been friends since literally sixth, seventh grade. And we actually went through divorce around the same time. And I remember us sitting on the couch, not knowing how we were going to make ends meet. We lived on two opposite sides of, the states as well, right? Of, at the time. And, not knowing how we were going to pay the bills, not knowing how, our mortgage was going to, get paid, not knowing how the direction of the divorce was going to go in, right? Because it was still, we're still going through the procedures, not knowing what our custody battle was going to look like, not even, quite knowing who was going to be in our corner at that time, right? Family members were saying this, mom was saying this, daddy was saying this, sisters were saying this, friends that I thought were friends was saying something different. All of that could have taken me out, right? It could have hardened my heart. But we made a conscious decision to say this. Listen, I know that I'm going through all of this, but I so want to be a different person on the other side of this. And I'm not trying to make it difficult for me. I don't want to make it harder for me to recover than what it needs to be, right? Later on, moving forward. So I was having a conversation also a couple of days ago with a client, and she said, so what can I do today, Naima, that uh, would help me for my tomorrow? And I said, one of the best things that you can do is not focus on the negativity, not focus on the name calling, not focus on him trying to drag you through the mud, right? Drag you through whatever, acting, calling you everything but a child of God, right? Turn your focus from that. I understand how hurtful it is because listen, I get it. This is the person you made vows with. This is the person you've lived a life with. This is possibly the person that has fathered your kids. And so for you to see the struggle, for you to see the name calling, for you to see the hurt that they're throwing at you, of course it's hurtful. Of course, it can make you feel some kind of way. But at the end of the day, you have to separate, is he doing this because he really means this? Or is he doing this because he's coming from a place of hurt too? And we have to understand, ladies, that hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. I know you've heard it over and over again since you were a little kid, right? But it is absolutely true. And the thing that you can do is say this: I'm not going to be the one to cause hurt. One, I don't want to be that person because I have a future that I am aspiring to get at the end of all of this. And also, I don't want my children to see that. I want my children to see me taking the high road. I want my children to know that there's a better way to go about life, right? So, one of the biggest things, and I'll wrap up with this, it's a quick live today. Don't harden your heart. One of the biggest things you can do at this moment is make peace with the fact that it's just not a peaceful situation right now, right? Make peace, but I'm going to say that again, make peace with the fact that it's not a peaceful situation right now. But keep in your heart that it will be at some point. Keep in your heart and in your mind the future that you want to have, that dream person, that ideal person, right? Don't harden your heart. Keep an open mind. Keep an open heart. And honestly, ladies, focus on the positivity. And I know that sounds cliche. Focus on the positive and not the negative. You don't want to be a bitter person from this. Trust me. I talk to so many women who have been divorced for 10, 15, even 20 years, and they're still dealing with the same madness, the same hardened heart that they were dealing with when they got divorced. Let that not be you. And I know it's easier said than done, and there is a process for all of this, right? And we do go over that in the Free and Clear program. However, let me see, one of the comments here is, it's hard dealing with a narcissist. I wish I knew. I try to take the high road, but knowing that it will never change a thing, it makes it difficult to forgive and not be hardened. Absolutely, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist personality, I can understand how difficult that is. But honestly, let's think of it a different way. So a narcissist really is a diagnosis, right? So that means you have an issue. That means you have a sickness. That means you have a deep rooted issue that I'm not responsible for. I can't help you with. I'm not trained to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that for you. So what I'm going to do is say this: there is nothing that I can do. There is nobody that I can be that you would be happy with, right? So therefore, this is a you issue, ex-husband, not a me issue. So the shots that you're firing at me, I'm going to let them roll off of me because I understand that alcoholics drink, drug users use drugs, liars lie, cheaters cheat, right? If that's your frame of mind. So until you, ex-husband, get your life together and get some counseling and all of that, I'm going to see you for exactly who you are and who you're presenting. And I'm not going to let that harden me because I didn't do that to you, right? That's not my responsibility. So Roz, that's how I would handle that situation when you're dealing with a narcissist. Separate yourself from the diagnosis. He had that before you, and he will more than likely have it after you if he doesn't get the healing that he needs, right? Don't take that on as your burden. That is not your burden to carry, to shoulder, right? So I hope that that helped and put a little bit of relief to you. A lot of the times as women, we carry our children's burdens, we carry our spouse's burdens, we carry our parents' burdens, and we have to get to the point where we start releasing those burdens, right? And then we look internally and say, you know what, I need to make sure that I'm right for myself so that I don't become a burden on someone else, either now or in the future, right? We have to stop taking responsibility for other people's actions and choices. That's the best that we can do. We cannot control it. And because we can't control it, I'm not going to take responsibility for it. And because I'm not taking responsibility for it, I'm not going to allow it to harden my heart. Yeah, it helps me. It helps to remind myself that this is not a me issue. You are absolutely right. It's not a you issue. And just have, I know this is going to sound a little hard to hear right now because you don't want to hear it, but I'm going to say it anyway because I love you. Um, when you're dealing with someone who is sick, right? It's really, and you respond to them in a negative way, you have to ask yourself, who really is the person right now who's at fault? Is it the person who's sick, or is it me for allowing the person who's sick to affect me in this way? Right? So you have to have some sort of, um, what's the word, empathy and sympathy for that person. If you can't have empathy because you've never been there, at least have that sympathy for that person to understand that, listen, he's working with what he has. He's working with what he has. And at this point, there's nothing that I can do for you. And it's not my fault. I'm not taking it in. He has an issue. I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to be with me. And I'm going to do the best that I can do for me and for my children and for my future. That's it. Um, Focus on you. Focus on not letting this narcissistic person affect you to the point where it now changes the rest of your life, changes the trajectory of your life because of what this person was trying to contaminate your life with, right? So now that you are on the other side of that, or you have decided to start making the move to the other side of that, now is the time to make sure that you don't have the residue of that person on you so that you don't bring it into the next chapter of your life. Okay, so I want to keep this live short, and I forgot to set my timer. And you know, y'all, I can go long, and I'm trying to keep these lives 10 minutes or less, and I usually go over by like 10 minutes. So, anyhow, I'm gonna wrap up for now. Keep the DMs coming. And also, for those of you who have signed up for the Thrive After Divorce Masterclass, I'm so super excited to get with you guys. It's going to be 2 hours of just girl talk and revelation. We're going to go in deep, right? I love that because then I could spend more than 10 minutes talking to you guys, and I want you guys to talk back to me. It's just going to be a great time. It has been a overwhelming amount of people. I didn't expect this many, so I actually had to open it up a little bit more and add a few more seats, and even those are getting full pretty fast here. I don't know the last time I counted. We were only had a few more seats from after I already opened them up a little bit more. So it is tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope that I see you there. If you try to register and you don't get through, I'm going to have it again. I don't know at what point. I usually do it every 6 months. The last time I did it was in February. But we'll see. I don't know, right? I just go with the flow and do what I'm called to do. So, but as of right now, there are no plans in the near future for a second one. So if you do want to join, I suggest get on the registration site right now and register, okay? I will see you all tomorrow. I'm so super excited. Come with your journal and your pen and your questions, please. It's going to be a great time. All right. See you all later. See you, ladies. I'm excited to see you tomorrow. Bye.